Ahoy, mateys! Welcome to Podcasts of the Caribbean, a podcast covering the world of Pirates of the Caribbean, from the theme parks to the movies and everything in between. My name is Justin Helmer, and I will be your host on this voyage through the Caribbean. It'd be too late to alter course now, mateys. Hello and welcome back to Podcast of the Caribbean. I'm back again with another fun bonus episode, this time featuring a conversation between me and my good friend Lucy Peterson, who goes by Film Loving Lucy on Twitter and Film Obsessed Lucy on Instagram. She is a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fan like me, and we've talked on social media for a few years now, but finally sat down to talk about everything Pirates of the Caribbean related. It was such a fun time, and I hope you all enjoy our conversation. We talked about everything ranging from the movies to the attraction, the books, our favorite scenes, and Pirates memories from our childhoods. We even talked about the recent Pirates of the Caribbean 6 rumors, which have been partially shut down by now, but we talked about them anyway. And at the tail end of the conversation, we even talked about Gore Verbinski's new film that just released, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, which I highly recommend if you have not seen it already. Hopefully this is a very fun and nostalgic episode for you all, and I want to thank Lucy again for coming on and talking with me. So hopefully you all enjoyed this episode as much as Lucy and I did recording it. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I guess we'll start off. I'll let you introduce yourself. So who are you for people who don't know?
Hi, I'm Lucy Peterson. I'm a really big Pirates of the Caribbean fan on Twitter. I'm mutuals with you. We've talked like year, 2 years, I
Yeah.
think. Um, I'm a filmmaker. I got into movies because of Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like my favorite thing in the world, and so when I knew that Justin made this podcast, I was like, that's so cool. And I thought it would be like a not terrible idea to reach out and just be like, I'm a really big Pirates of the Caribbean fan. If you ever want to talk on a podcast, I'd love to talk. And here we are.
I guess we'll start off with things at the beginning. So, what was your first exposure to Pirates of the Caribbean, if you can remember?
I can. In fact, I think it might be my first memory. If I like try to think back like beyond this memory, I like can't really remember anything. I was 3 years old. It's 2006. So Dead Man's Chest was it was either about to be released or it was already in theaters. I'm too young to remember like when specifically in 2006 it was. And it was my first dentist appointment, and there was a like Walmart or Walmart adjacent like grocery store like right across the way, and we were a bit early for the appointment, so we just decided to browse Walmart and kill some time before the appointment. Eventually we like went over to the DVD aisle, and I was just like browsing the DVDs, and the DVD for Curse of the Black Pearl caught my eye, and I was just immediately entranced by it. It looked like so mysterious and exciting and thrilling and adventurous, and it was like it was like nothing I had like ever. It's like nothing that I had ever seen before, at least in terms of a DVD cover. And I was like, this looks so cool. And I grabbed it, I took it to my mom, and I was like, can I have this, please? And she was like, if you behave at the dentist, I'll get it for you, because it was my first dentist appointment, and I think she wanted to make it like a memorable, like positive experience for me. And then we went to the dentist, and I was determined to get that DVD. So I remember like sitting up straight, acting very polite, because I didn't want to like risk the chance of not getting that DVD. There was just something about it that I just like I couldn't get it out of my head, and I just like I needed it, and I ended up getting the DVD. We bought it. We took it home, and I immediately watched it, and the rest is history. And my life was never the same.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to me. I can't really remember,
Really?
I don't know, like a dentist experience like that, but I, I like when I look back at like my early like childhood, I cannot like remember like a life before Pirates of the Caribbean was in it. Like I
Uh-huh.
just like I don't even remember like when I first watched the movie, but like I it's always been there. Like I think it was
Mm,
like sometime either like late 2005 or early 2006 when I saw Curse of the Black Pearl for the first time. But like
mm,
I I cannot picture life before Pirates of the Caribbean.
uh-huh.
So yeah. But I what
Speaking of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no no you're
I
good,
just
you're
wanted
good.
to mention I'm like sporting like my favorite like At World's End shirt today. I just remembered
Nice.
that.
Yeah, I noticed Jack Sparrow at the very top, so I'm
Uh-huh.
like, very
This is
cool.
such a cool shirt. It's like he's like standing on top of like a pile of skulls. It's like badass. I love it.
What made you fall in love with Pirates of the Caribbean after you first saw it, of course?
It was like this is I feel like this is kind of a cheap answer though. I think it was everything. It was like I had never seen anything like it before. It was so big and grand, and it was like everything that you want movies to be for you at that age. It was so transportative and magical, and it made you believe that like anything was possible. And it was just a feel. It was a high that movie gave me that I've been chasing for the rest for my entire life since. And I love everything about that movie. I fell in love with everything, the characters, the world, and is just everything, man, is everything.
I feel pretty much exactly the same. I mean,
Hmm.
that's how I've always felt about it. Like I don't know what it was, but after I saw that movie, that's just forever ingrained in me. I don't know. It just
It's just
did
it's
something to
in
me.
my DNA.
Yeah. So I mean, like even like I think 2006, like I had a Pirates of the Caribbean themed birthday party, and I was only 4 years old at that point. But
I had a pirate's birthday the next year, when I was 4 in '07.
mm,
And because I was such a big fan of the first one, and I got Dead Man's Chest on DVD for my 4th birthday, and I remember opening it up and seeing that there was a second one, and I had no clue that there was a second one, and I was holding it in my hands, and I was like, "There's another one," and I was, I remember I spent like the whole car ride home just like looking at the DVD, just like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that this is real," and then the third one was like not that long from being on DVD after that, and so it's like, "There's a third one after that," and so yeah, I
uh,
also had a Pirates of the Caribbean birthday party around that age.
that's so I can
I
only
still have
imagine.
the cake toppers. In fact, I think.
I probably have them at some point, like
Uh huh.
somewhere I don't know where, but I can only imagine. Like I can't remember, but like just watching Dead Man. I can't remember watching Dead Man's Chest and Outworld's End for the first time. Like
Mm.
I just can't remember. But like I can only imagine like my reaction to be like, oh my god, Barbosa is alive. Like
I can't even
I
remember
wish I could
that.
remember that.
I can't even remember like sitting there and just like seeing Barbosa walk down the steps. I'm surprised why I can't remember that because that's such like a big moment.
Mm,
Well, I was pretty young.
yeah,
Um. Anyway, I wish I could. That's so like that's such a great moment.
it's such an iconic moment.
Mhm.
Like people have like all these stories, like oh the theater went crazy. I'm like, I wish I was old enough to like actually have been in the theater and like watch that.
It's such a big question. Like, if you had a time machine, like, what would be like the first thing you do? Like, where'd you go? And like, my answer has always been like, I want to go to like opening night for all three of the original Pirates movies,
Yeah,
especially Dead Man's Chest and Outworld's End. I've had the privilege to see Curse of the Black Pearl in theaters a couple times. I saw it once for its 20th back in 2023. A bit before that, there was a local theater that was screening it like on top of a roof, and that was pretty
mm,
fun. And then last year was that a local theater was also holding like a trilogy marathon, and they were like screening one of the original trilogy a week. And that was the first time I'd gotten to see Dead Man's Chest and Outworld's End on the big screen, which was a really special moment. Though especially I would really love to see Dead Man's Chest and Outworld's End because I'm like still so new to like seeing those on the big screen, and
mm.
especially like it'd be so cool to see like how audiences felt back then. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go see Curse of Black Pearl back in 2023 as well in theaters, but
Mm-hmm.
I have not had the privilege of seeing Dead Man's Chest or At World's End in theaters. Hopefully that will change. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what
I'm
happens.
manifesting for you. I'm
But
manifesting.
we'll see if Disney wants to do anything this year or next year, which I doubt. But who knows? Maybe they'll prove me wrong.
I hope.
But
Let's hope.
I guess we're around the same age. We both grew up, in like the peak
Mhm.
Pirates of the Caribbean age. Do you have any like memories that you remember from like that time period?
When it was like really popular,
Mm.
I remember going on a trip to Cancun when I was like three or four. I was probably four or like almost five. It was like '07 or like early '08, I think. And this was Mexico, so like it wasn't like a Disney park or anything. And I remember we were like just like I think we were strolling past a beach. There were these two guys that were just like walking around as Jack and Davy Jones, just on some random beach in Cancun, and like people were taking photos with them, and it was like a sea of people, and it was like they were like all the way on the other side of like the walkway, and they were just like crowded with people, and I noticed them, and I was just like, oh my god, that's Jack and David Jones, and it was from what I remember, it was like a really good Davy Jones cosplay. It was like really detailed, at least from my 4-year old memory. And I like really wanted to like go over there and like meet them and talk to them and take pictures with them possibly. And though like by the time I had noticed that they were there, like we were like already like moving on to something else, and so I never got the chance to do that. Though I still remember that and like being like, well, I remember at the time thinking that they were real because I was four. Though looking back, I'm like wow, like Pirates was like really that big that just people were just like walking around cosplaying those characters just because they wanted to and because they cared that much. Just on some random beach. And it was it's a memory that I look back on fondly. The time that a time that once was.
Yeah,
What
that's
about
really
you?
cool. Well, something that I can remember very, very clearly is I don't know if it was either Christmas 2006 or Christmas 2007. I have a
Hmm.
feeling it was 2006 because it revolves around a Dead Man's Chest action figure. But
Hmm.
I specifically remember like I could not sleep that night, so I woke up like super, super early. Everyone was still asleep, and I like literally was like looking at like my presents, and I opened up like the first one because they're all very similar shapes, and they're all obviously like Pirates of the Caribbean action figures because they all had the same box and everything. But I opened the first one, and it was the Barbosa action figure, and I have never forgotten that. It's like very core
Wow.
memory in my head. And
Mm.
like I was just waiting for everyone else to wake up, and I was just like staring at this Barbosa action figure, like just
Aw.
waiting. But yeah, that was very cool. I have a picture of me with like one of the Will Turner, like I look like a doll essentially, but like a 12-inch like figure. But yeah, that was a good
Wow.
Christmas. And then also this was years after, but um, my favorite of the Zizzle figures is like the Will Turner from At World's End, like his
Mm.
iconic outfit, like the red shirt and the black jacket. I never got that action figure back when it came out, but
Mm.
somehow like back in like 2012, like my parents got it for me, and
Oh my
I
god.
had no idea. Like I was so surprised. But yeah, that's also another core memory. But I I
Aw.
love those toys so much. I don't think there's ever gonna be like a toy line or like just like a merchandising campaign that like hits the same way. Like
Mm.
they knocked it out of the park with those toys and
I
just everything in general.
Mhm. That's so true. That was back when not just Disney though, just like people in like companies in general used to like put effort into their marketing. I remember like there's that one picture of the Disney store like when Our World's End came out, and it's just like they didn't just have like a whole section dedicated to Our World's End. They like redecorated and like refurbished the whole store,
Yeah.
and like had like all of these like pirates decorations and all of these like unique props and like decor, and it's like you do not really see that like level to like commitment or detail for marketing anymore.
Yeah, it was
And
truly another time.
like not that like marketing is like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like not that it's like what makes a movie. Though it's nice that like if marketing for a movie has to exist, like go 110%, you know?
Mm, yeah.
Just like just like put yourself out there, put the movie out there and just do everything you can and be creative about it. Cuz that's what's going to make people want to go see it.
Mm,
And I think that's especially with Gore Verbinski's new movie, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. They've had like a really creative and fun marketing campaign
yeah.
that like aren't really seeing anymore. And I think that's like part of why it's like it's been doing as well as it has, everything considered, because like the marketing was just interesting and fun and creative. They had
Mm,
like a whole high school band like marching through Las Vegas, and
yeah.
they had a plane flying over like Silicon Valley, and you do not see that like commitment to the bit anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I miss it.
It's truly another time. But
Another time, another place.
I guess so. Who is your personal favorite Pirates character?
When I was a kid, I would have told you Jack, and to an extent, I think he still is. I have a big soft spot for Jack, though. I've really, really, I like. I think Elizabeth. It's got to be Elizabeth now. I, I think she's, I think she's the most complex. I think she's the most relatable. I also think she was a character that was really ahead of her time,
Mm,
and just in terms of like really big like tentpole popcorn movies, like basically being like everyone always talks about how like Jack Sparrow was the lead of those movies, and like he really isn't. It's like, and I mean, I believe Ted and Terry have also talked about this. Elliot and Rossio, the
yeah.
creators of uh, the writers of the films. If for those who do not know, if you're listening to this podcast, I assume you do. Um, uh, I believe they've also like talked about how it's Elizabeth is basically the main character of those movies,
Yeah.
and it's so true because she's the one that has the most growth and is the most nuanced and layered, I think. And she was so ahead of her time as a character, I think, because that was 2003, and here you have this 17-year-old who's basically like leading the charge of this big like adventure, and doing so in a way that isn't either infantilizing or over sexualizing. She's like a real person and with like real goals and aspirations, and the movie like really cares about those things and about her dreams and her longing to for something more from life other than what high society deems for what a woman should be.
Mm.
And then that eventually leads her to becoming king of the goddamn pirates in Our World's End, and it's just she has the best arc. I love her so much.
Yeah, she's the best. I mean, well, my
Mm-hmm.
personal favorite's always been Will. It's always been ever since I
Oh,
was
I
a
love
kid.
Will.
But obviously, I think respect for Will has been steadily increasing over the years. But I feel like back in the day, like everyone just like, who cares about Will Turner? But I have always been a Will Turner truther. He's always been my favorite. It's
Mm-hmm.
always been Will,
I
then
also love
Elizabeth,
Will.
and then Jack. But my
Mm-hmm.
respect for Jack has definitely increased. Uh, Honestly, in the time of doing this podcast, I think Jack has steadily increased in my favorite character range. I mean, I've always loved him, but like I think my appreciation for his character has like gotten like so much higher after just
Mm-hmm.
like going through everything and being like, oh, like especially after reading The Price of Freedom, like
I still
that
need to
is
read The Prince of Freedom. That's such a blind spot for me.
yeah, it's an incredible book. Obviously, the very specific main event about the cargo slaves. That's
Mm-hmm.
the major moment in that book that
Mm-hmm.
most people know about. But that book especially is very very good. Has a lot of depth that it adds to Jack's character. I think it was very well done. I
Mm-hmm.
know some people don't like it. I think it was an incredible book, and especially
Mm-hmm.
his relationship with Beckett is explored in that, how that begins and everything. Um, and yeah, great book. I highly recommend it to you or anyone who has not has not read it. I've covered it on the podcast already, but yeah, it's a fantastic book.
It's something that's it's a matter of when, not if. I'm like totally gonna read it at some point. I've honestly been waiting to find like a reasonably priced like physical copy,
Mm,
which are like so impossible to like come across. They're
yeah,
like every single like copy, because I really want to own it on like physical copy. I want to have the book in my
same.
hands. It's not like a movie. It's not that. Sorry, it's not like a book that I want to like be scrolling through like on my tablet.
Mm,
So I've been waiting to find like a reasonably priced, either a reasonably priced um copy, or eventually have enough money to buy a physical copy. Both of which haven't occurred yet.
yeah,
So one day they will. I'm certain of it.
yeah.
I want. Is there a reason why like why copies go for so much? Like they're like always like consistently in the like $200 range on like eBay, I think.
I think it's because it was only printed once when it came out in
Mm,
2011, and it's like never been
mm,
reprinted since. Um, I don't know if it sold well or anything. I don't know. Maybe it didn't sell well enough for them to make more, but
mm,
I think it was only that first edition that was printed, and that's why it's so rare now. But yeah,
okay.
hopefully at one point I will own one too. Is I read it on
Mhm.
Kindle, but it is my
No shade,
goal
no
to.
shade to you reading it on Kindle, by the way. That was not to be like
No, no,
shade
you're
thrown at you.
good. But
I totally get it. I just, me
hopefully I
personally, I
will
really
own
don't
it at
read
some
that.
point
Uh huh.
because yeah, that's like my white whale like pirates like merch item
Mm,
is a physical copy of a book. But it's a really good book.
hmm.
But I mean,
I am really looking forward to reading it one day.
yeah, it is so good. But I
Mm.
mean, I already know the answer to this next question, but for those who aren't aware, what is your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean movie and why?
It's both so easy and so difficult because those first three, it's like they're my babies. It's like they're my children, and it's like picking a favorite kid. And so like generally, like when someone asks me, because Pirates of the Caribbean is like my favorite movie. And so like when someone asks me like, "Oh, what's your favorite movie?" I like tell them like, "Oh, it's a tie between the first three Pirates of the Caribbean movies." The like gun to my head, like life or death situation, like I have to pick a favorite. It's probably Outworld's End.
Mm,
It's just it's so big and so operatic and grand, and it like ties everything up so well. It's so emotional and just so exciting and beautiful, and I love everything about that movie. Every single time I watch that movie, I'm like slightly worried that I'm like going to like with age I'm going to understand why people didn't like it that much when it was in theaters, and why people like shit on it for so long. Though like the more I grow up and the more I keep rewatching it, the more I'm just like I love everything about it. Like it just gets better every single time I rewatch it. And all of the so-called problems that people have with it, like its pace or its length, I that movie like is almost 3 hours. It feels like it feels like two, like on the dot for
mm.
me.
Should
That
have been
movie like
longer,
goes.
honestly.
It should have been longer. That's my hot take. That's my hot take. Um, I just I love everything about that movie. It's so well done. Um, I think I know the answer for you as well, though. Go ahead
Yeah,
and.
yeah. No, my favorite is also Outworld's End. It's
Well, your
such
favorite song was that? I thought it was Dead
yeah, it
Man's
is.
Chest.
No, mine's actually Outworld's End. But
Oh my god. Okay, Our World's End Hive. We
yeah,
stay strong.
but it's so crazy. Like my favorite is Outworld's End, but like every time I rewatch a specific Pirates movie, I'll be like, oh, now this one's my favorite. They always like trade
Uh
places,
huh.
but I'm like,
That's
yes, I would pick Outworld's
yeah.
End if I had to pick a favorite. But like that,
Mhm.
I'll notice something in like Dead Man's Chest. I'm like, oh my god, this movie is so good, and then that'll
It
shoot to my
rocks.
top of my list, and then I'll
Uh
watch
huh.
Curse of Black Pearl, and that will shoot up. But yeah, they always trade places, so it really is hard to pick. Like when
Uh
like
huh.
someone does ask me like what my favorite movie is, I will just say Pirates of the Caribbean, just
Mhm.
generally.
Uh huh.
But if they are very specific, I'm like, oh yes, the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie,
Mhm.
the one that everyone does not like, but is the best one.
It
Like
is the best one.
I cannot believe
Well,
that.
thankfully
Yeah,
with age, I think it's finally gotten its due. Dead Man's Chest as well. though At World's End got like ravaged like in '07 and like the years after it. And I'm really glad that like people are like going back to it and like realizing that like, oh my god, this movie's actually like really well made and really well done and told so well. um because like oh my god, I was actually on another podcast the other day, and I was talking about my, because it was I was talking about Good Luck Have Fun Don't Die on the podcast, and so I was talking about Gore Verbinski, and I was talking about how I was like 10, 11 years old, like on the internet, like fighting in the trenches for those movies, like when it was like most popular to like hate them. And I was just like, no, you guys don't get it. And I was just like so frustrated that like no one else could see what I saw. And I'm glad that like people finally are getting it. Um it's been like a real like moment of vindication, like the past, like I feel like it kind of began in like when quarantine began. I like it was like I slowly started to like see people be like, our world's end, Demis Just and Our World's End are kind of underrated. And I was like, wait, do other people agree with me? And then as like the decades gone on, like people have just been more open about how they really like those first three. And
Mm,
it's been really really nice to see. It's been
yeah.
really nice.
It's so crazy how like, people back then like compared those movies to like superhero movies now. But like
Ugh,
you
it's
look
like
back at like Dead
night
Man's
and
Chest and
day.
Our World's End, they're like you do not
Not even
see
close.
movies made at that level like anymore. Like
At that level with that amount of care,
yeah.
you know, it's it's so like it's so rare that I feel like I can call like blockbusters like artistic. And I feel like those movies, especially Our World's End, are
Mm,
just like so artfully made. Like they're so well directed and shot so beautifully, and the characters are written with so much nuance. And there are so many like parallels and thematic through lines that get like juxtaposed with each other throughout all three films, and it's just such a satisfying watch
mm,
to like go through all of them and to see all of those things pop up, and all of those narrative through lines be paid off and those character arcs be paid off. Like I remember the first time I noticed that when Will gets stabbed in Outworld's End, it's the sword that he made for Norrington in Curse of the Black Pearl. And I was like, oh my god! Like the details in those movies run so deep. Like you do not get that kind of stuff in big movies like this anymore.
yeah.
It's so it's like it's like it's mythic. It's like it's mythic storytelling, and it's just like, yeah, we you do you're not really we're not really getting that anymore.
Yeah. And like it like when I look at Outworld's End too, like when I'm like compiling like a list of like my favorite Pirates of the Caribbean scenes, I feel like 75% of those are all from Outworld's End. Like that's
Uh-huh.
how good that movie is.
Uh-huh.
Like like the Governor Swan death scene is like in my top
Oh,
10. Like the conversation between
heartbreaking.
Elizabeth and Bootstrap Bill, like I love that scene. Like there's so many like good scenes, and also not even counting like the deleted scenes, like the deleted Jack and Beckett scene, which should have been in the movie.
I
But
agree. That's like I think that's probably the only deleted scene from any of them, any of the first three that I think like should have not been cut.
mm. And the funniest
I
thing is
agree.
like that scene was cut, but like if you look like every piece of like material, like the junior novelization has that scene in it. Like
Hmm.
the graphic novel has that scene in it. Like everything has the People Aren't Cargo version in it
Hmm.
besides the movie, which I think is super funny. Um,
Uh-huh. It's such a great line as well. People aren't cargo.
yeah.
Um, it's like such like a like devastating like oh my god, that's what this was all about. That's what their feud's been about this whole time. It's such like a
Mhm.
devastating like mic drop moment. It's so well done.
Yeah.
And yes, obviously the Maelstrom battle, like aka the greatest action sequence ever put to film. It's
Yes.
20 glorious minutes of energy and serotonin and it's just everything that you can ever want from a movie of that scale.
Yeah.
It rocks. It's the best.
Like I still can't believe they pulled something like that off. I've
I know.
watched the movie so many times. I've watched the behind the scenes stuff so many times. It's just like it's still so mind boggling how they pull that off, and it looks so good. Like even to
It
this day.
still holds up. It still holds up. Like not a like a fine hair has like aged poorly on it. It still looks just as impressive as it did, God, near almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
uh, it's it's so well crafted, and I love rewatching the behind the scenes for the films, especially the behind the scenes for the Maelstrom battle, and just seeing them like build these two just full size pirate ships in this warehouse that's like 3 football fields long,
Yeah.
and just and then just bringing in this big blue curtain and just like
Mm,
wrapping it around,
yeah.
and like seeing that like all like the light fixtures and everything that they had to like manufacture to like run all of the power needed for the rain and the gimbals that the ship needed to be on for them to like move up and down. And it was just like, God, like all the moving pieces of that, like it's no wonder why it was the most expensive movie like ever
Yeah.
made at the time of its release. You feel it in every frame of that movie. That
Mm,
movie is so technologically advanced and big, and it rocks.
yeah. Enough power to like power a small city, I think is what they said in that, which is
Yes,
just it's
that is
crazy.
what yeah, that is a quote that they mentioned in relation to the Maelstrom battle. That's, God, wow.
Well, I guess that leads into my next question. My personal favorite scene from the franchise is Will and Elizabeth's wedding scene in the Maelstrom. But
That's not a bad choice at all.
I'm
It's
curious to
really not.
know what your favorite scene is, if you could pick.
If you would have asked me when I was younger, I probably would have told you it was Will and Elizabeth's wedding. And it's still like top 3 for me, probably, of the entire series. I was rewatching At World's End the other day because I was marathoning all of Gore Verbinski's films in preparation for Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. And I was rewatching that scene, and I was just like, I've seen this movie like 1,000 times. I like know it like the back of my hand, and I'm still sitting there just like bubbling and jumping up and down in my seat, and
It
like
still
tears
gets
rolling
you,
down my
like
face.
every
It
time.
doesn't get old. It never gets old. And I'm like getting teary eyed just thinking about it now. It's just so it's so fun and romantic, and just it's everything that like those movies are like condensed into like one scene. Everything that those movies mean to me and what makes those movies so special. They're big and adventurous and fun and romantic and sincere, and it's just ah I love it. Um, though I think as I've gotten older, my favorite scene, the scene that I think about the most, and I think about in terms of like how well done the character writing for these films truly is the scene where Jack and Barbosa are um, talking about death um, and legacy in front of the dead Kraken.
Mm,
Um, it's like so, and that's I think that's another reason why I think I resonate with Outworld's End, especially like so much as an adult, is like it's so easily I think like the most character focused one,
mm,
which is why I think it's partly the longest. Is like we just get these scenes where the characters are just like allowed to talk. Like the
yeah,
narrative isn't just always propulsing, you know? Which isn't a bad thing. That's like one of the great things about Curse of the Black Pearls. Like that movie's always moving forward, and you're just like the whole runtime. um, but like it's really nice to just to let like these characters breathe and to talk and philosophize and to really like share their perspectives and emotions with each other. And like that's like what you were talking about, like most of your favorite scenes like seem to be from At World's End, and a
yeah,
lot of them are character focused. Like the scene between Elizabeth and Bootstrap is also up there as like one of my favorites. That scene's heartbreaking,
yeah. It's
and and it's I love that At World's End is like so like interested in the characters themselves and not
Mm,
just like the world and like the plot, you know? And we really get to like know those characters the best in that movie. And I think that scene especially between Jack and Barbosa, it's like it's so deep and has so much to talk about in terms of like mortality and capitalism uh and how it affects not just human culture, though also just like mother nature and how it devastates those things and changes them irrevocably forever. And it's a really beautiful scene and one that I like think about a lot. Just like in my spare time.
yeah.
I'll just be sitting there in my room just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's all. I think that one's in my top five as well. I somehow knew you were gonna say that because I had a feeling,
Mm.
like that scene is just that good. But yeah, it's
It's
another one of my
so,
favorites.
and I mean, like, obviously in that, like, the world used to be a bigger place, there's just less in it, like,
Mm, it's an iconic
scabbed to
quote.
the heart.
Yeah.
It's stabbed to the there's so many like great like mic drop lines in those
Mm.
movies that are just like damn.
And like, I feel like the reason a lot of people don't like At World's End is because there's like not a lot of action. But like, that's kind of like the reason
Such a
I do
shallow
like it
way.
because there's
I
so
I feel the
much
same way.
like meat to everything that's happening. Like, you don't need like, yes, it has some like fantastic action sequences, but like, you
That's
don't
very
need
true.
an action sequence every like 10 minutes when you have like these incredible like character moments that are literally happening in every
So
single scene.
that's so true. It's so true. And it makes and for me at least, it makes the stakes matter that much more
Mm,
because we're getting to see how those stakes affect each person in their own individual way. And it makes it all the more like emotional and cathartic when it all leads up to the Maelstrom battle and everything comes to a head there. Jack's Jack's arc about wanting to become the captain of the Dutchman and giving it up so he can be selfless and save Will's life, and that's like completes his trilogy arc
mm,
of being a good man and everything between Will and Elizabeth and Davy Jones and Calypso and Bootstrap and Will. And it's just like those that those things wouldn't have mattered as much if we hadn't have gotten the time to like really like sink our teeth into like how are these characters feeling, why are they making the decisions that they're making. And I think it's just like not to be not to keep being like oh like back in my day the like we really like I feel like character writing as nuanced as that on like on a movie making scale this big is just like it's so rare now.
mm.
It like you aren't getting like big character focused like blockbusters anymore that are just like supposed to be like fun and for kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why I think like when I was a kid it was probably my least favorite was because it was the one with the least action.
Hmm.
Though like as I've gotten older it's ever since I was probably about like 11 or 12, like it's pretty consistently been the one that I've like come back to a lot. And resonated with. And it's still like that to me.
Yeah. The best. The best. It is the best.
It's the
Like,
best.
but I guess. Oh, so do you have like a favorite? Like, I guess we'll transition to like behind the scenes real quick. Like, do you have a
Hmm.
favorite like behind the scenes, like story or moment or like featurette from the Blu-ray or DVD?
That's that's so difficult. Um I think my favorite fact, just because it's always so fun when it like happens, is the scene the parlay scene on the island in Our
Mhm.
World's End, and you listen to that electric guitar and you're like, "Hi, Gore Verbinski." It's such a fun thing to like when you're like watching that scene with someone who hasn't seen them before or hasn't seen them in a
Mhm.
while, and that electric guitar comes up like down down down
Yeah.
down, and they're like that's actually the director playing the guitar, and they're like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah. It's so
It's
crazy how so
uh,
little people know that, but
Uh,
it is so cool to like know that he technically kind of like is in the movie
mhm.
um for that.
His cameo, his
Yeah.
little cameo. Um, that's like that's like my gut response. Though I could probably like sit here all day and talk about a bunch of behind the scenes stories that I love. I really like Pirates of the Caribbean was like Curse of Black Pearl was the movie that made me fall in love with movies.
Mhm.
Though the making of documentary, of is it called A Voyage at Sea?
I think it's
I think
Epic
that's
at Sea.
An Epic at Sea. Yes, An Epic at Sea. Um, that was what made me fall in love with movie making, I think. And like that was what made me realize like, okay, I want to like these aren't just something that are just like so cool and that I love. Like this is like something that I like want to be a part of. Like I
Mhm.
want to be a part of this like artistic process. And oh my god, I've watched that documentary like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I always really liked it's the moment where they're like talking about like all of the different like contacts that they're talking about
Oh yeah,
for all the
yeah.
different characters and like all the different kinds of contact lenses that they had to make to give like personality to these characters. The contact lens for Rigetti that made it look like he had a wooden eye.
Mhm.
Uh, Contact lenses for Pintel that made his eyes look like really yellow and evil, and uh, contact lenses for Barbosa, which like made him look like there was like they described it as like it look makes it look like the light is like taken out of his eyes.
Yeah.
It gives him like a real sickly look. Um, and then they get to Jack and they're like, we gave him contacts and you wouldn't know it because Johnny didn't want to be looking at the sun without sunglasses, and
Yeah.
so he's wearing sunglasses that
Yeah.
are contact lenses. I remember that being like interesting. Like I didn't know you could like make someone's appearance all that more impactful through like seemingly insignificant moments like that.
Yeah.
And I could think of so many different things. And I remember I always loved the sequence at the end when they're premiering it for the first time at Disneyland. I always wanted to go. It was like I
Yeah.
I have no clue when Pirates of the Caribbean 6 is going to get released. Though I really hope that they still keep the tradition of having the premiere at Disneyland.
Mhm.
Um, that'd be nice.
Yeah, let's
I'd
hope.
really love to go. I'd really love to go one day. That's like a bucket list thing.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Hopefully we'll all
And then
go.
them
We'll all
premiering
go
it, them
together.
we'll go together, you
Yeah.
and Tyler and I. um, uh, and then the outdoor screening with like on the Lake of America in New
Mhm.
Orleans Square. Like, oh, like I can't imagine the vibes would be just so immaculate.
Yeah. But I guess speaking of the theme parks, I guess we'll transition there real quick. So I guess have you been on the Pirates ride at the parks?
I've been to Disneyland a few times in my life. We used to go a lot more when I was a lot younger because it wasn't quite as expensive then as it is now.
Hmm.
We used to go for Christmas every year, like until I was probably about like 8 or 9, I think. And then it just got too expensive, and I always wanted to ride pirates. That was like the thing I always looked forward to the most, and so I have a lot of fond memories of going on Pirates of the Caribbean. I probably my fondest memory, or the one that I look back at, that I look back on and laugh at the most, is I thought that the pirates at the end, like just before you go up the hill, and
Hmm.
they're like shooting at each other from like across the water. I had no concept that those were animatronics. I thought those were real guys with real guns, and I got really scared. And I thought I was gonna die and I was gonna get shot. And so, um, what I did was with like the spending money that we were allowed like every year, like a cup, like maybe like $100 limit for Disneyland. I decided to spend a bit of my Christmas money at Disneyland on this pistol that I still have from the Pirates of the Caribbean gift shop. Um, I'm not sure if you know the one I'm talking about. It's kind of like see through. It's like green with like with like a yellow, or sorry, like an orange trim, and then you like pull the trigger, and it made a noise. It still kind of makes a noise. You have to listen to it now. It's really old though. Though you like pull the trigger and it like make a noise, and then it was like a flashlight inside, and it would like project like a skull like onto a wall.
Oh, that is really
Um,
cool. Yeah,
uh,
I've never seen that one.
oh, it's a fun little like toy. Anyway, I got the pistol. I think it's supposed to be Jack's pistol. If you look close enough, like the engravings and stuff look like Jack's. Though with the green and everything, it kind of looks like a Dutchman pistol.
Mhm.
um, though I think it's supposed to be Jack's. Though anyway, I got this pistol, and I immediately asked my mom to take me back on Pirates, and I like conquered my fear because now I had the pistol, and I was like, I'm gonna like, protect myself, and I so that's a fun memory where I bought a pistol to take on pirates with me because I thought I was gonna get shot and die.
I personally have only been on the Walt Disney World version. I've only ever been to Walt
Really,
Disney World. I unfortunately I've still never gotten to Disneyland. Hopefully next year for
I'm the
the
opposite.
anniversary of the original ride next year, but
Hmm.
let's hope. But
Is it gonna
yeah,
be
so I've
60
always
next year?
yeah, I think yeah, next year is the 60th,
Wow,
which is
wow.
crazy. But yeah, I've always unfortunately ridden the inferior version of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which is the one in Florida.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like ever since like the first time I rode it, I don't even remember. Like I was very very young the first time I went to Disney World. I
Hmm.
don't know if it was before I saw the Curse of Black Pearl for the first time. Could have been after, but I just immediately fell in love with the ride too, and it's still my favorite ride at the Disney parks. Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's just it's
It's
incredible and
still
like
it's still my favorite. I go. It's a pretty close tie between that and the Haunted Mansion for me.
yeah, same.
Hmm.
But yeah, same with the gift shop in Florida is very very cool. I mean, part of it's kind of been cut in half now with the Beacon Barrel opening next door, but that's an incredible gift shop. I have so many like little memories in there. Like every time I would go to Disney World, I would try to get as many Pirates of the Caribbean pins that I could possibly get at that time. So I have like probably like 40 or something Pirates pins
Oh, that
from the
rocks.
parks. But
You should like post a video on Twitter of like all of your like Pirates pin collections if you haven't done that already. I'd love to see that.
I should. But yeah, I have a bunch of those. What else do I have? They still make it now. I mean, it's like a very it's like a plastic like Jack Sparrow sword. They still sell it at the parks. They kind of updated it. They changed the.
Hmm.
It used to be just kind of honestly, it was actually kind of like in the swashbuckler's art style because on the blade it had the swashbuckler's Jack with his signature on it.
I think I own that sword. I think I own that sword.
Yes, I still have one from like years ago, but they did actually
Mm,
update it where they changed the scabbard color from black to brown, and they changed the sword
mm.
color from just kind of a gray, like an actual kind of like shiny metal. But it actually still
Wow.
has the swashbuckler's Jack and his name on it,
Oh,
which I
that's
think is very
nice.
cool. But when I get
That's
there
nice.
next, I want to get the new version just to have both. But yeah,
That's
I've
cool.
always that's like I think I've had probably like four of those swords over the years. The one that I have now, I think, is probably like over 10 years old. But
Mm.
yeah, I
I
always loved
found
that sword.
I found mine at I think I found mine at a Goodwill randomly, just one day. Are Goodwills like all across the country? Is that like
Yeah,
a thing that's
yeah,
okay? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm like I'm not sure if it's like a West Coast thing or not. Okay, so yes, I found one at a Goodwill once, and I think that's the one that I have. I think I found it at a Goodwill, and like part of the hilt is like broken off, though. Like the lettering's still intact, and I have it hanging on my wall.
Yeah, I have that, and I well also one of my favorite things that I own is the Zizzle Jack Sparrow pistol, which
Mm.
I still have in very good condition. It doesn't the batteries are dead, but actually the batteries I don't think I ever changed the batteries in there, but they worked for a very very long amount of time.
Does it make
Um,
noise?
yeah, when you pulled the trigger, it made the kind of just like firing pistol noise. I've
Yes. Okay, wait, sorry. I thought we were still talking about the sword. I'm so
no, you're good.
sorry.
You're fine. Yeah, it that is probably one of my favorite pieces of Pirates merch that I own.
I think I think the pistol that I have is like pretty similar to that one. I um I think it's like the same design, just like see-through green, and I think it makes the same sounds because I think I've seen like videos of that pistol, and it's relatively similar to the one that I have.
So I guess then we'll move to another ride focused question. Um,
Mm.
what is your favorite version of the Pirates ride? I guess aside from the original, because the original is the best, um,
It's it's just
at
so
least to me.
classic, you know?
But
It's just such a classic.
what is
Well,
your
I
favorite
mean,
version?
it's tough. I think just because I'm like I'm the movie diehard that I am, like it like ever since it opened, it's been like a top bucket list item to go on the Shanghai one.
Yeah,
Ugh,
it's so
everything
good.
about that everything about that ride looks like it would like change my life. Though I want to give an honorable mention to the Paris Pirates because I think it's really underrated. It's the only one that doesn't do the Pirates Life in Reverse thing, which I think
Hmm.
is interesting.
Yeah,
Um, they still have the Davy Jones Mist Waterfall, which that thing is so close to my heart. So even if the Paris Pirates wasn't that great, even if it wasn't that great, they'd still have the Davy Jones Waterfall, and they'd still have a place in my heart for keeping the Davy Jones Waterfall. I love that thing so much. I miss it so much. I I'm I like the new transition from the cave to
hmm
to the um to the town with the guy, and he's like from a skeleton, he goes from being a skeleton from being a guy.
yeah,
um Though there's just it's a cool effect, and I really like it. And the octopus there, and he's like holding like the jewels.
hmm
Um, though there's something about that effect that just like it's so atmospheric, and it was always just it was so fun to like hold your hands out and like try and grab the mist, and it was just and it was really nice to see Davy in the ride. And I really that was like always like a stand that was always like one of my favorite parts of the ride growing up,
hmm
and it's still one of my favorite parts even though it's gone. Though anyway, Paris Pirates still has it, and so that's a reason why I still love it. Or that's the reason why I do love it. They still have the original pirate captain
hmm
for the ship, which is cool. And it's cool that they still have it while still being able to work Barbosa into the ride.
yeah,
Later they have the animatronic of Barbosa in the cave section that's near the end this time because it's not the Pirate's Life in Reverse. And they have him there, and he like has the like curse, and they're like able to like pull off the like skeleton effect, which is really cool. And they have sword fighting like pirate animatronics.
yeah,
It
yeah. They
rocks.
do.
It rocks. I love Paris Pirates. I think it's underrated.
It is so underrated. But yeah, I love
Mhm.
that Barbosa animatronic too. Like
It's
I don't
really
know when they
cool.
added that. It was like a long time ago now, but that
I think it
animatronic
was like
is so good.
it was either like just before or like just after the pandemic. Like it was like either like 2018, 2019, or like 2021, 2022.
Yeah,
It's
which is
something
like
like that. It
an
was like
eon ago
a while
now.
ago, the like somewhat recent. It was I think it was around that time.
But yeah, the animatronic's great. But yeah, the Paris one
It
in
is.
general, I feel like is just very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
And they
What about
also,
you though? What's your favorite? Oh,
um,
sorry, I
no,
didn't
no,
mean to
you're
interrupt.
good.
Go ahead.
I think, I think my favorite has to be the original, even though I haven't been on the Disneyland version.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a very soft spot for the OG. But if I
Mm-hmm.
had to pick a different version, it would be Battle for the Sunken Treasure in Shanghai.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully I will get on that at some point because it is just so cool. It is such a good
That's
ride.
another thing we can all do together.
Yeah,
We'll make the whole trip. And it's so cool that it's not just Battle for the Sunken Treasure. It's like a whole like Pirates of the Caribbean land
yeah,
as well in Shanghai. They have like the Jack Sparrow stunt show and stuff. I want to
hmm
go to that. I've seen like a video of it. It looks really fun. The like have you seen a video of it?
yeah, yeah. Where they all get like
With
they fly up into
with
the air and
the
stuff.
stuff in the wind tunnel. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so cool. It's so fun. It looks so fun. I really want to go to the Shanghai Disneyland. Really want to go
yeah,
to Shanghai
it's
Disneyland.
fantastic. And the Davy Jones animatronic in Battle for the Sunken Treasure is so cool. And
Not
they also
even
have
mentioning it.
Macus in there too, but Davy Jones in
That's true.
particular is great.
Nice to get Macus representation.
Oh, and the
He's
Jack Sparrow animatronic that he like turns from a skeleton into Jack Sparrow. That
That's such a
still
cool
one of my
effect.
favorite effects, like in any ride.
I think that from what I understand, from what I understand, it's like supposed to be like a Pepper's Ghost type
Yeah, I think so.
effect. It's a really refined Pepper's Ghost effect though. It's like so realistic. It like you can't see the seams on it. It's so
Yeah,
well done.
it's so convincing. It really
It
is.
is.
So I guess we'll transition now from parks to games, and there's been some Pirates of the Caribbean games that have come out over the years.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, I have.
so what is your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean game?
I feel like it's not fair because it's like I love this game so much that like even the other ones that I do enjoy pale in comparison. It's got to be Lego Pirates. I've that's like to this day I think is it's my comfort game. It's probably my favorite game of all time. I've 100% completed it like 3 times. I love that game more than I love most people. I've spent so many hours playing that game. I was actually playing it the other day. I replayed Curse of the Black Pearl, the Curse of the Black Pearl missions. Did I replay? No, I didn't replay Dead Man's Chest. I want to though. I want to like. In fact, I actually might do that later today. I might replay the Dead Man's Chest and Outworld's End and On Stranger Tides missions. Though it's probably it no, it's not probably. It's definitely Lego Pirates. Though I feel like that's like it's so unfair because like that one's like it's like almost in like a league of its own.
Mm,
Like it's like how much I love that game. So I'll give an honorable mention to that World's End Xbox 360 game. I think is really fun. I've been working on 100% completing that recently. It's just it's a fun game. Some of the mechanics are kind of wonky, though. Overall, I think it really holds up.
mm,
Especially the graphics, I think like hold up pretty well for like being almost 20 years old, and like the environments and stuff. It just feels so like rich in detail, and
yeah, and
it's like the closest video game experience I think we've gotten to like playing through the movies. Like it feels like you're
mhm,
like in the movies. That's like I
yeah.
think the game that's like gotten the closest to it. I really love that game. Anyway, what about you?
I will Lego Pirates of the Caribbean is up there, obviously.
Uh-huh.
I remember when I think I got it for my birthday back when it came out, and like
I did
I started
for the
playing it
DS.
like the very same day. I think I got it for the Wii first, but I started
Mm,
playing it the very same day that I
I
got
did as
it,
well.
and I specifically remember like I think it was the first or second Curse of Black Pearl mission where you're in the blacksmith shop. Um,
First first mission.
yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
Is his
that
first mission.
that is something I still remember. But yeah, that game is
Mm.
so good. I do want to
It's
quickly mention the Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean thing
I played
was
through that like
incredible.
a year, like about like 2 years ago for the first time. It was so fun. It's
I
probably
st-
the closest we're gonna get to Pirates 6 for a while, and so it was nice to like get like a new Pirates story
Mhm.
with those characters, and for it to be like so like I wasn't expecting it to be so like faithful to like the lore,
Yeah.
and like they referenced things from the movies that I like wasn't expecting them to reference.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, I enjoyed the Steve Thieves story.
Yeah, that was it was very good. I
Yes,
remember when it was first announced, I was actually watching the like Xbox or I forget what it was revealed at. But I was watching it with some like other friends of mine, and like I didn't like catch it at the start. I'm like, oh, Sea of Thieves trailer, and then like right when they get
mm,
into the brig of the ship and Jack Sparrow shows
uh-huh.
up, I just like lost my mind. I could not believe it, and I was going
Yeah,
crazy. But yeah, I was that was so good. I loved every minute of playing that when it came out. It was so good.
it's really fun.
But I also
Um,
do like the Xbox 360 game as well. I think I remember playing a specific level of that like way back in the day on the PlayStation. And then I
mm,
started playing it again like last year on PC.
which is a
Um,
completely different version
yeah,
from
exactly.
the Xbox One.
Yeah. But yeah, that game is great as well.
I also I also was recently playing recently as in like a couple months ago I was playing the DS versions of Dead Man's Chest and Outworld's End. The Outworld's End one especially, I think, holds up. I think a lot of the mechanics in that are like pretty fun and like use the like stylus in really interesting and fun ways. The Pirates of the Caribbean game that I've played that I want to play the most, though I haven't yet, is Legend of Jack Sparrow, or Legend of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Hmm.
Um, I do not. I own it for the PC, though I do not have a PC that can run it. And even then, I'm not a big PC gamer. I'd rather
Hmm.
I'm more of a controller gamer. And I do not have a PS2, and so I really want to play that game. It looks so fun. And it's like the only game that like they actually got like Johnny to voice Jack for, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a very unique game.
Uh-huh.
Like if you like watch back like the like a walkthrough or like the cutscenes, it's a very strange game. Like Will gets like captured and like thrown into like salt mines, and he's like Jack leaves him there, and he's like, Jack, I can't believe you left me here. He's like all like his like clothes are torn up. I'm like, I would love to know like what was going through their heads when they were making stuff. And then there's like a level where they're like
There's
in like
they're
the
in like the
Arctic.
Arctic.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the
like
one that like especially I found out about that recently and I was like, okay, now I like have to play this game at some point. Like that's
like
just so like way before At World's End did it.
yeah. Yeah, it's very cool. I'm curious though, have
Uh-huh.
you played Pirates of the Caribbean online? Did you play it like when it came out, or did you play it
I
like the new
played it.
version
I
now?
played it back when the original. I played it back when the original campaign. I guess when the original campaign was running, when I was like probably like four. um. Yeah, I played a bit of it. I remember enjoying it. Although again, I've never been a PC player, so I had trouble getting trouble figuring out like the PC controls for it and stuff. Since you have to play it, since it's an online game, you have to play it on a laptop. Though I did enjoy it, and I did want to like revisit it, especially like in the past couple years, and like see like if it holds up, if I remember anything that I like had forgotten about. And so I like a year or so ago, I downloaded the like fan run like remake of it,
Hmm.
which is really fun. And if you haven't played it, you should. It's a fun
Oh, I have
game.
every like so often I go back and play a little bit of it.
Mm,
But I did play it like when it first came out. Um, like without my parents knowing. Like I downloaded the game and I was playing. I think that they had a free trial or something. But
mm,
like at the very beginning, like when you're in the tutorial and like Will Turner shows up and like gives you the sword or whatever, like oh my god, Will Turner's here.
mm,
I specifically remember that, and then like stopping playing it like before my parents found out that I had downloaded it. Um,
mm.
like that's another core memory that I have was just like playing it for like an hour and then like never playing it again until a few years ago when I downloaded the new version.
It's sort of a similar. I sort of have a similar relationship, other than my mom like got it for me like as a gift. I think um like she found out that there was a Pirates of the Caribbean online game, and she like created an account for me and like helped me sign up and stuff, which was really nice of her. Though it was just it was so difficult for me to figure out the controls and everything, and so at like 4 years old, and so I didn't get very far. I think I got to the I think I remember the part with Tia Dalma
Hmm.
from like like going back to when I was like four. Like I remember the part. I think I remember as far as the part with Tia Dalma, which isn't super far into the game. I think it's about like an hour into the game.
Yeah, it's pretty early.
Uh, I should pick it back up again. I still have it downloaded. The fan run version. I should pick it up again soon. I've been meaning to.
Yeah, it's really good. And they just like released like a new update with like actual like new content they like create
That's
like
cool.
originally created, which is pretty cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
But I also love how in that game, like I think Elizabeth mentions that she's like a knife throwing expert or something, and I'm like, that's such a like a random kind of like factoid. I mean, I could
I
definitely
really
like
hope
see
that's
that in her
canon.
character, but like I just thought it was like very funny how she kind of like just like casually mentions it or something. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh,
I really
okay,
hope it's
cool.
I really hope that's canon. That's really funny.
But I guess have you read the Young Jack Sparrow book series?
I've read a couple. I think I've read the one where I think I read the one where with the cover where he's like stranded on the island.
Oh,
I forget which one that
Poseidon's Peak, I think.
I think where he's like on the like little hill of sand and he's like
Yeah, yeah,
he's like looking into the horizon. I think I read that one. I also think I read the one that was the final book in the series. It was the one where the cover he's like on the rigging and he's like got like I think he has like a trident
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's like a rainstorm and there's like some like old lady who's like chasing after him.
Yeah, it's Bold New Horizons, the last one.
Bold New Horizons.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Um,
I feel I love
I think
just
I
like
also read the first
spouting out
one.
all the information. It's like, oh yeah, that's the name of that book. That's the name of that book. I feel like so like I have too much Pirates of the Caribbean information in my brain.
That's also a thing that's like a matter of like when, not if, of like when like I'm definitely going to read like all of them. It's just a matter of like I didn't get around to reading all of them when I was a kid, and
Mm.
it's also sort of a similar thing of like of Price of Freedom where I want to read them in order and I want to own them all physically. And so like when I eventually get all of them like physically, I have the whole set. I'll like sit down and read them. Uh, I didn't find out until I was older that there was one with dinosaurs, which is insane.
Yeah, that one's pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, back when I
Yeah,
was a
sorry, go
kid,
ahead.
I only had I've had the second and third book for like I got them back when I was a kid, but like I don't remember reading them like, and I don't
Mm,
remember ever like reading any of the other books. So like I didn't actually
mm,
read them myself until a few years ago. But like I was surprised at like how much I actually really enjoyed it. I mean, of course it's it's written for kids, but like yeah, I was really enjoying it. There's some
mhm,
like very like shocking moments like closer to the end of the series that I was like I cannot believe this just happened. And
mm,
also some characters that show up in the later books as well.
mhm.
And I was also the spin-off on Bootstrap Bill is also very good that they wrote
Yes.
afterward,
Yes. Mhm.
but
I know
that
about that one.
ties into before the 11th book. But that
Mhm.
one's really cool, and also I give some hints on the potential identity of Will Turner's mother, who I personally think is Arabella Smith, but it's a topic
Wow.
for debate. It's not confirmed, but there actually is a bunch of evidence in some different books that point to her potentially being his mom.
I definitely got to read them. One if not well if not just for my own like enjoyment and because I love Pirates of the Caribbean so much and I've those have been a really big Pirates of the Caribbean blind spot for me. I also like I really want to make like a it's sort of like a dream project to like eventually make like a young Jack Sparrow adaptation miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Um where it's just like it's like a 13 episode run. It's like in each episode adapts one of the books, and then it ends with an adaptation of Price of Freedom.
That'd be very
Um,
good.
hmm,
I feel like
I would love to
so many
make
people
that.
have wanted a show of that series for so long. I think it would
It's
be
such an easy. It's
so easy to
mhm.
make. Yeah.
Well, not easy to make in
Well,
like
not
in
yeah,
terms
not,
of like
yeah,
like
but
like
such an
no
easy
like
decision.
it's such an easy decision. Like it's such a no brainer.
Mm.
Same with an animated series. I'm still upset that Swashbucklers never made it. That would have been like the perfect way to continue the series after
Mm.
At World's End, I think. I would have loved a Pirates of the Caribbean animated series. And I still would if Disney wants to. They that would be really cool. They
The,
probably won't though because they hate everything and everyone.
and there's so many ways they could like keep Pirates of the Caribbean going. Like
They just
obviously
choose
they
not
are
to.
like working on Pirates of the Caribbean 6.
Mhm.
Still constantly. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but
Uh-huh.
like there's so many easy ways they could keep Pirates of the Caribbean alive, especially like an
And
animated
relevant.
series for like
Mhm.
obviously kids, but I would eat that up. I would love
I
that.
would watch it. I would watch it religiously. I'd watch it multiple times.
But like yeah, a young Jack Sparrow series would be incredible. That's another just great way to kind of like a lot of people are
Mhm.
like, "Oh, why are you going to make a Pirates movie without Jack?" I mean, we still don't know, but like that's
Mhm.
a very easy way to have like yeah, Jack is still the main character in this.
Mhm.
Like he's
Precisely.
here.
It's like a way to it's such a no-brainer way to like to have more stories with Jack without having to deal with all the behind the scenes drama.
Hmm.
And so it's just, yeah, it just feels like such a no-brainer. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. And it's not like they haven't they have someone who's played a young Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
He's there. Get him back.
I still like it's you look at like behind the scenes pictures of that guy. I can't remember his name right now, but like he looks so much like a young Johnny Depp, but they still
Mhm.
decided to do the CG like
Uh-huh.
deep fake Johnny Depp face on him, which I feel like I mean it works, but he looks perfectly
Fine.
fine without it.
It's the same thing of like Luke Skywalker on The Mandalorian, where
Mm,
it's like you're going out of your way to like we have the technology now to like canon inconsistencies, quotation marks inconsistencies, like between actors, like non-existent, and now like you can just have Luke Skywalker look like Luke Skywalker at any age. And I think we've like lost like it in our in Hollywood's fascination with new technology, they've lost the idea or the fact that audiences not only can, they want to suspend their disbelief. And they're getting actors who already look so much like the characters that they're supposed to be playing and the actors that they're supposed to be younger versions of, and they still like override their face with pounds of CG. And it's just I think we need to like go back to just like just like letting actors act, you know? Let us just suspend our disbelief for a while instead of being like, look, it's Johnny Depp younger. Look, it's Tony Stark younger. Look, it's Harrison Ford younger. Look, it's Mark Hamill younger, you know?
mm. I guess on that point, since we're talking about young Jack Sparrow, I mean obviously week ago or whatever, we had that big rumor come out about Pirates of the Caribbean 6 potentially
Mhm.
featuring Jack Sparrow's son. Of course, Jerry Bruckheimer already shut this down, but it's an
I
interesting concept, and
it is an interesting concept. I kind of was hoping he wouldn't shut it down because I think that would be like I wouldn't be upset about a movie featuring Jack Sparrow's son, especially if they got like the right actor, you know? And
mm,
I mean, and if it's true that Christy Wilson Cairns, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, um is writing the script. I think she's a really talented writer. I love both 1917, which she co-wrote with Sam Mendes, and I love Last Night in Soho, which she co-wrote with Edgar Wright. That's been one of my favorite movies of the past decade. And I think she's like a very talented writer, and I think she's I wouldn't have thought of her to write a Pirates of the Caribbean film. Though like putting her name out there, I'm like, yeah, she'd do a really good job, and she'd like write like a she wouldn't just like write just like an average pirates movie just like for a quick buck. Like she would like really like write something interesting, I think. And
mm,
I think she could have handled the idea of a Pirates of the Caribbean film focusing on Jack Sparrow's son with a lot of grace. Would have been interesting. I would have been especially interesting, like seeing what direction they would have gone in, like how they would have like portrayed like Jack's son, if they would have like made him like very similar to Jack, or like not similar at all,
mm,
or like, and either way, I think you like really have to find someone who's like has a really like once in a lifetime charisma. And that like that's got to be like a really difficult like thing to cast, and it would have been really interesting to like see like all of that unfold.
yeah, I
It's just that's
agree.
my
I like I know a lot of people were like, oh, this sounds kind of stupid, but I was on board with it.
I was
I
on board with it.
I'm on board with just another movie being made. I don't know.
I
Well,
agree.
the
I'm
quality,
not.
of course, like the quality of the movie does matter to me, but I think the
Uh-huh.
excitement of actually having a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie coming out would definitely be better than
That's
nothing.
very true. That's very
But
true.
well, like personally, like for me, like I love Henry and Karina. Of course, they weren't really in the best movie of all time, but I still think they could be improved upon if they were brought into another movie. And
I
I
agree.
I hope they show up if
I think
this movie gets made. But
I hope so as well. I think Karina, and this is coming from someone who isn't the biggest Pirates 5 fan. They're like I especially Karina of the two of them. I think she's like one of the stronger parts of that movie, which is strange because I think one of the parts that I think is like one of the strongest parts of Dead Men Tell No Tales is like the part that I think a lot of people like make fun of the most, and that's Karina's arc and her relationship with Barbosa.
hmm
I think it works. I think that's one of the parts of the movie that I think works the most for me. Yeah, I enjoyed her character, and I would I and her relationship with Barbosa, and her like arc of self actualization, and I would be interested to see her again, and I would be interested to see Henry again as well. Um, yeah, I just if it's kind of a no brainer for them to like be the future of the series. It's like what
yeah,
five set as,
yeah. I mean, especially
and
as like Keira
yeah.
Knightley has said that she doesn't plan on returning if another movie gets made. Orlando Bloom is definitely on board. I mean, I'd love to see Will
Mhm.
come back in like a cameo or something. But I felt that was the whole kind of point of Pirates 5 was you set up the next generation of characters, literally the next generation of
Very much
characters.
so the Force Awakens of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and like I think them interacting like with Jack Sparrow's son, if that is true or not, whatever, we
Mhm.
still don't really know. But I think that would be really
You have
cool
a
to
new
have
main
kind of like a
trio,
new
you know.
trio of yeah
Hmm.
of Will and Elizabeth's son, Barbossa's daughter, and Jack's son, and that'd be like so cool. Is to like personally, me personally, I love that idea. But
I really like that idea as well. I'm in the same boat as you, no pun intended.
but yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Pirates 5. I personally I do enjoy it. There are parts that I don't like, especially like, specifically the retconning stuff. Like as
Hmm.
cool as the flashback young Jack scene is, it has so
Hmm.
many plot holes that it puts into the series and everything. It could have been easily like fixed with just a few simple changes. But there are
Would
still
have
a
been
lot
great if
of
they just kept Terry on.
yeah, it would have been like it's funny. Like I just did an episode on Terry's original Pirates 5 script, and it's crazy to see like the similarities of the stuff that like he put in his script that did end up
Hmm.
actually making it into the actual movie. Um,
Hmm.
right down to like the scene where Jack and the crew and everyone are like in the bottom of the sea and they see the whale go by in the wall of water, and that was a deleted scene for
Hmm.
Pirates 5. They filmed and just cut from the movie, but
I haven't read all of um the original Pirates 5 script. I think I read like the first like 20 or so pages. And I really need to get back to reading it again because I that's like something that's a script that I find so fascinating, and I have a pretty love hate relationship with Dead Men Tell No Tales. There are some
mm,
things that I think like I can see like what they were going for, and there are things that I think are really disappointing about it. Um, and I would be really interested to see like Terry's version because I mean he was one of the original scribes of the series. It's like his baby, and
mm.
I would be interested to see like if his like functions any better like within the world than the Jeff Nathanson one does. I would assume it does. um uh um and I also thought it would be interesting like to have like a woman as a villain.
Mm,
um and the stuff with Ghost Norrington and Ghost Beckett,
yeah.
that sounded so interesting. Pintel and Margetti were going to be in it.
Mm,
Like it just sounded like and had sorry, Philip and Serena were going to
yeah.
also be in it
Yep.
again, and that would have been really cool to see them like come back and tie it a bit more into On Stranger Tides. And yeah, I'm sad that script didn't get made. It's really
Yeah.
sad. I
It's a
think
it's a very
I'm not sure
unique movie or a
why.
very unique
I
script, but
mm, I'm so like why didn't they like go with it? Like because like
I think I
Terry
think
was like so essential to those movies. Like firing or like letting Terry go from the series is like firing Gore Verbinski. Like
mhm.
that's like how like big of a deal I think that is, and I can't believe that they did that.
I think people like just didn't like vibe with it or something like that, and
Mm.
there's that the whole like one of the popular things is that like the Johnny Depp movie Dark Shadows, whatever it's called, the vampire movie. That had a female villain, and for some reason they were saying like, "Oh, we
I
can't
think
have
that's
another
a,
Johnny Depp movie with a female villain." I don't. I
mm,
feel like that's such a weak excuse, but
that's such a weak excuse, and also I think that movie's kind of underrated. I think it's like
I've
one
never
of
seen it all the way through. I've
it's
seen like
really good. I
very
think it's
small
really
parts.
fun. It's really funny. It's like a really fun like vampire like satire dark comedy. It's really fun. I really like that movie. I think it's one of Tim Burton's most underrated. And
Yeah,
Eva Green's really good in it as the villain. I think she rocks in that movie.
I'll have to put it on my list. I have to watch it at some point.
You should maybe for Halloween this year.
But yeah, that Pirates 5 script is very unique, and I know a lot of people don't like Philip and Serena. I personally, I like every Pirates of the Caribbean character. I don't think there's a Pirates of the
Mm.
Caribbean character I don't like.
Mm.
Maybe Shanza, but that's because she was very very underutilized and had like no role
Oh my
essentially in
god.
Pirates
Yeah,
5. But
talk about a thankless character, thankless role.
but I mean, she's a very 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 reduced version of like the Sea
Mm.
Widow in that
Mm.
script. But that script is
Mm.
very very unique. It has some really cool ideas that it sets up. There are some parts that I don't like but it's weird because like I think about it and I'm like, well, I do like parts of Dead Men Tell No Tales better, but I have to kind of like think that movie didn't exist when this was being written. So you have to kind of think of,
Mm.
do you prefer that movie or do you prefer that script? But the script is really good and it would have been a great movie, I think.
I did want to ask, because that's why I prefaced I haven't read all of it. Is the MacGuffin still the Trident of Poseidon in the first
So
the Terry script?
technically, yes, in the script it's the Trident of Neptune. But so it's somewhat
Oh,
similar, but in the script
okay.
they're trying
Same
to find
concept.
three pearls for the Trident of Neptune that give it its power.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
alongside that, Jack is also looking for this place called the Mermaid Trove, which also kind of ties into Serena and Philip's story, and the
Hmm.
Sea Widow and everything like that. And there's a whole reason why Jack is looking for the Mermaid Trove. Um, but he has some great
Uh-huh.
personally, there's some great like Jack Sparrow moments in that, where he really
Hmm.
kind of just like lets the facade fall away for a moment, and you get a
Hmm.
really good like Jack Sparrow like monologue in there. There's also that dream sequence
Ooh.
at the end with the ghost of Beckett and Norrington. There's some other parts of that as well,
I
but
would
that
have I would have
would have
really
been
hoped that they would
incredible.
have brought Jack Davenport and Tom Hollander back for that, and like they wouldn't have just. I really hope that they would have like, they would have been like cameos and not just like I guess reused footage. I
Yeah.
guess
Well,
it
if
would have been cool to like
I don't want to like
see them
spoil
back.
the script. I mean, I can't really spoil it. It's not like a full movie, but like I feel like a lot of people do overblow Norrington's role in there because he's in there for like 5 seconds pretty much. Like
Uh
he's
huh.
there and then he's gone. But
Uh huh.
Beckett more so. I don't really want to spoil it, but like his, it's not him alive. Jack sees his corpse, and I think that's like
Mm.
really cool. Because he like
Oh,
turns
what?
over.
That sounds so sick.
Yeah, like
Oh, did
it's
you
like
get that? Oh
the
God,
whole
this
scene
is
is
so
like
good.
Jack is like waiting in this like pitch black sea and there's like nothing around him. He gets tangled up in the flag of the Endeavor, and then Beckett's like
Oh,
waterlogged corpse rolls over and like crabs come out of his mouth and everything.
that
And that
sounds
would have been
so
like
sick.
so cool. But
That
like
sounds so sick. I want it. Oh,
yeah, it's a
God.
very cool moment. But yeah, Norrington is there. Like he like calls
Mhm.
over to Jack and then he shoots a pistol and he disappears. But I feel like since we have the piece of concept art, people are like, "Oh, Norrington's like a big thing." He's there for a very short
I
moment,
think
but
I
it's
think
still
I
a
knew
really
that it was
cool.
like more just like a cameo thing.
Yeah,
It still
but
would have
still would
been
have been
like
very
cool if
cool.
they would have like gotten Jack Davenport back for
Yeah.
like a like a split-second cameo.
Mm,
I love Norrington. It would have been nice to see him back, even for like five
yeah.
seconds.
He's a very underrated character. He's also another character that I think my respect for him has greatly increased over the years. Like back when I was a kid, like I hated Norrington because I kept thinking that he was like in the way of Will and
Uh-huh.
Elizabeth. And like, get this guy out of here. I don't care about Norrington. But like,
It's
I
kind of
think
a tragic figure in a lot of ways.
yeah, he's very tragic character.
Mhm.
Um, like he sacrifices everything for
Uh-huh.
Elizabeth. Like he eventually
Uh-huh.
dies like protecting Elizabeth, which I think is I think his character is just like very well written. I know a lot of people
He
would have loved to
has
see him live, but I think his death
he. Hmm,
was good.
I agree. I agree. It's like one of the most emotionally impactful moments of At World's End, and I wanted to mention that his that like one of his lines from that final scene of his is like one of my favorite lines of the entire series, and he's like telling Elizabeth to like go across the rope and that he's gonna follow, and and that she realizes he's lying, uh, and then he tells her, "Our destinies have been entwined, Elizabeth, but never joined." And then he
Mm.
kisses her, and that's so
Such a good
like
moment.
ah poetic. It's so poetic and just tragic and beautiful. I really love those movies so much.
So, how would you rank the five Pirates movies? I have a feeling I kind of know, but put it out there.
So five at the bottom, unfortunately,
Hmm.
and then like some space, and then On Stranger Tides, which I think is way underrated. I really enjoy On Stranger Tides. It's not the first three for me, though. I think there's a lot in there that's really, really strong.
Hmm.
And then a bit more space up from there, and then it's probably like again, like gun to my head, like I have to like put them in order. It's probably like really close all together. It's Curse of the Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, At World's End.
Very similar. Like me specifically, like I don't know. Like I feel like Curse of Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest switch positions for me all the time. Like
Hmm.
if I had to rank them, it would be Outworld's End number one, and then
Hmm.
Curse of Black Pearl two, and very very slightly over Dead Man's Chest. But also like they
Hmm.
switch positions for me all the time.
Hmm.
But yeah, On Street Tides, very underrated movie.
Hmm.
I feel like there's so much great material in there. The whole part with Jack and Barbosa teaming up, like near the end of that movie, is just
I love that
perfect.
it just becomes like a buddy cop movie
Yeah,
for like 20 minutes
it's so
between
good.
Jack and Barbosa. It's so fun. It's so fun, and the I love that whole sequence of them like doing the heist on the camp. It's so fun. He's like shimmying up the like coconut tree.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so fun.
yeah. I am one of the people who I do enjoy Dead Men Tell No Tales. It's not a perfect
Mm,
movie by any means. I do really enjoy it just because it is a Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
mm,
Um, is there things that could have been improved with that? Yes, there's a lot of stuff that could have been improved. But I think it is slightly better than a lot of people do give it credit for.
mhm.
I think I like it more because it has Will and it has Elizabeth in it for a cameo. But
I I really I mean, maybe this is me just being like a greedy fan, though. I remember when they announced that Will was going to be back at D23.
mhm,
Do you remember that when they
yeah,
announced that Will was going to be back and everyone went insane because that was rightfully like a really big news.
mhm,
Like I'm not sure. Like I guess like just the way that they like described it, I was like really hoping that he was going to be like a big part of the movie and that like
yeah,
he and Jack were going to interact and stuff, and that never happened.
yeah. I do wish he had a bigger role. I mean, I kind of
Mhm.
understand why, given like the story of the movie, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
when they announced that, like, oh, Orlando Bloom is coming back, I'm like, no way. And then he was in like two scenes. I'm like, okay, he's at the beginning and the end. I'm like, okay,
He's in
what?
it for like 5 minutes
Yeah,
total, I think.
but I do think that scene at the very beginning with him and Henry on the Dutchman is probably my. Well,
It's one of
it's
the better
funny.
scenes of the movie,
Yeah,
I think.
I was gonna say it's my second favorite scene to the ending with Will and Elizabeth. But yeah, that's
Mm,
such a like an emotional scene, it's a great parallel to the Will and Bootstrap scene on the Flying Dutchman in Dead Man's Chest. Like right after
mm,
Will gets the key from Davy Jones, and Bootstrap's like he gives him the knife and he tells
mm.
him to like
That
don't
is
come back
kind of
for me.
true.
I feel like a lot of
Mm,
people don't make that connection, but I like it goes
that's
through my head every
true.
single time I watch the movie.
That is really true. Wow. I never thought about that. That's true. That's true. Wow. Yeah, I do like the ending in concept. Like it's really heartwarming and nice that Will and Elizabeth are like officially like back together and they do not have to wait like once every 10 years to see each other. I just I mean, especially because I'm such a big Elizabeth fan. I'm like really sad that like she didn't even get a line.
Yeah,
Like easy. I think that's probably the easiest money that like Keira Knightley's probably ever made. didn't
Yeah.
even have to didn't even have to speak a single line of dialogue. Anyway, it would have been nice if Elizabeth had gotten more to do. Even if it was just a cameo, it would have been nice for her to like have like some dialogue. She
Mm,
didn't even get a line, you know.
yeah. So
And
she
again, like also like the thing of like Jack and Will and Elizabeth, they never like got to like reunite like
mm-hmm.
the three of them, which was
Yeah.
a bit sad. I like because like they're like they were like the main trio of those
Mm-hmm.
first three. Like their relationship with each other and their dynamic was like one of the best aspects of those first three movies, and so it was a bit sad that they didn't get to reunite the three of them. That would have been nice.
Yeah. But I guess I'll move to the next question. So, since,
Yes.
2026 is the 20th anniversary of Dead Man's Chest, I asked
Yes.
this to David Vengus. What do you think is the
So cool that you
lasting
got to
legacy?
interview him, by the
Yeah,
way.
I know. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. It's so cool. But what do you think is like the lasting legacy of Dead Man's Chest now?
The lasting legacy of Dead Man's Chest. I would like to think that the lasting legacy of Dead Man's Chest. That's a good question. I'm not. I think in like a real world, like objective answer. Um, I think the legacy of that movie has been how well it's aged technically.
Mm,
Um, just how well it's directed, and of course, obviously, like how how well the CGI is aged, and Davy Jones and everything, and it's just it looks just as phenomenal now as it did 20 years ago. Uh, though, like on a personal level, I would like. What would I like to think that the lasting legacy of Dead Man's Chest is? I guess I would like to think that the lasting legacy of Dead Man's Chest is that it was one of the last blockbusters of its kind. I think it was made at this point like just before like everything changed
mm,
in the industry. It was like only 2 years before the first Iron Man, and that changed everything about how movies were made, about what audience interests were, and so I think I would like to think that its legacy would be it being a really beautiful and gorgeous love letter time capsule to a to a type of filmmaking that doesn't really exist anymore. Um, I think that's what I would like to think that its legacy is.
it's a good answer. It's a very good
Yeah.
answer.
What about you? What about you? What do you think its legacy is?
I, I kind of agree with you. Like it is, like the first of all, like the special effects I think are probably like even David Vengus he said like Davy Jones is probably the best CGI
Mm,
character that's ever been created or put to film.
I would agree.
Um,
I would agree with him.
like I think it's like the movie. It like when you look at like the behind the scenes stuff especially too, like it's kind of like a miracle the movie even was as good as it was, like
It was very much
considering
Dead
everything that
Man's Chest,
happened.
especially. Yeah, it was very much so like in everything that went wrong type of
Yeah,
production. It was kind of Gore Verbinski's Jaws in that way.
yeah. And like I think like the fact that it turned out so well, not just Dead Man's Chest, but At World's End too. Like
I will then
they're both
build it
filmed the
back to
same
back.
time, and
Yeah.
they both ended up absolutely incredible. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like I think yeah, like it was like the end of an era for a specific
It really was.
like type of filmmaking. Gore
Mm-hmm.
Verbinski like literally said that like multiple times during the
Mm-hmm.
filming stuff, but like I think there isn't going to be a movie or like a set of movies like Dead Man's Chest or the Pirates trilogy. I don't think they'll ever be made like that again. I think that kind of
Just
that
once in a
era
lifetime.
is just over for movies just because it's so expensive to do stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, to build ships
It's
and
bitter. It's bittersweet. Though it also, in a way, makes those movies all the more special.
mm,
You know, um, just like look at like these things got made at the level of craft and artistry that they did, and it's and we were just and that we're just so lucky to have them just in general. And yeah, it's I'm really glad that those movies exist. They're very special.
Like who else would make a scene of strapping three guys into a wheel and literally shoot
Uh-huh.
them strapped into a
For
wheel and
real.
send it moving
Yeah.
down a hill? Like who else would do that
That's
besides Gore Verbinski?
I know. It's like that level of bold of like bold creative choices, it's just so rare these days. And I'm really glad that he got to make those movies the way he wanted to. And yeah, those movies are very special and just so unique.
And I guess so. Speaking of Gore Verbinski, I guess we'll end it with a quick chat about his new film. If you've been living under a rock and haven't heard about Gore Verbinski's new movie, he just released a new movie called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, which is absolutely amazing.
So
Um,
good.
and I'm curious to know what you thought of it.
Uh, I got to see it like a couple days early at an early screening on the 10th. Um, I didn't know at the time they didn't advertise it when I bought the tickets. I got to see it in Dolby Cinema, which is a really cool surprise when I showed up and they were like, okay, you're gonna be seeing in the Dolby Theater just down the hall that way, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be seeing it in the first time I'm seeing the new Gore Verbinski is gonna be in a Dolby Theater. Oh my god, it was a really nice experience. It was pretty packed, which was really nice, and I'm really glad that I got to see it in Dolby because I mean, just like the picture quality and the sound, it was so like you really felt it, and it was just the movie itself. It was like everything I could have hoped for and more. I love Gore Verbinski so much. I've been patiently, or rather impatiently, waiting for his next movie for I guess basically a decade at this point,
Mm.
and he like is back with a vengeance. I mean, like first movie back, and he's like already like being the same old bold Gore Verbinski that we know, like tackling the state of the world and communicating it in a really like visually bizarre way. And it's just like he hasn't changed a bit, and his level of creativity and social consciousness and how the two like combine together
Mm.
to create just such a fun and beautiful like artistic experience is like he's the same Gore that we've always known and loved. And it was just so nice to see a new film from him on the big screen. There's so much we could have like a whole podcast episode just talking about like everything about that movie that I love. It's I'll paraphrase what I wrote about it on Twitter. It's punk rock, and it's silly and irreverent, though it's also really sentimental and
Mm.
sincere, and it's so all over the place in like all the best ways. It's so chaotic, though that's what's so beautiful about it. And its chaos is what makes it so human in a way. And
Mm.
that's like what the whole movie's about, is the beauty and the imperfections of the human experience. And it also just felt that's just kind of been Gore Verbinski's like filmmaking philosophy his whole life.
Mm.
And it was just a really really beautiful movie, such a fun movie. And I really hope that I mean, I hope Gore takes the time that he needs to like take a rest from, because I'm sure that making this movie was a lot to do. It was a big chore. Well, not a big chore though. Like it was a big task to
Mm.
undertake. And though I really hope that like whatever the powers may be, that we do not have to wait another 10 years for his next film. I hope that,
Yeah.
especially with how well reviewed it is and
Mm.
how like everyone, it's word of mouth's been spreading. Everyone's been talking about how fun it is, and it's been doing well on the critical side. And I really hope that like this is like the beginning of like a Verbinski essence, and we like he like gets reintroduced to like a whole new like generation of film lovers, and that people fall in love with his films all over again. That
Mm.
would be really nice.
Yeah, I love the movie as well. I won't go into like spoilers for in case people haven't seen it, but like I thought, just go very not in depth at all, but like how they did the three like short kind of like backstory segments for the
Hmm.
characters, and like how
Uh-huh.
those could have like essentially like functioned as like short films on their own. How they're all
That's
like
so
very
true.
specific like topics covered in them. Um,
Uh-huh.
very kind of like Twilight Zone esque, like Black Mirror esque kind of things. Especially
Uh-huh.
like the well, I won't spoil too much, but like the school shooting stuff with Susan's character.
Oh, that stuff was
Um,
so fascinating.
yeah, that kind of blew me away. I was not expecting that at all,
Uh-huh.
but I was just like how like nonchalant everyone was about it and everything. But
Oh,
the
it's like it's so hilarious yet so like messed up.
yeah, but yeah, the movie as a whole was incredible. Sam Rockwell was like
He's
just
so good in
stole
it.
every scene he was in.
Uh-huh.
Um, and there
That
is a
opening scene in the diner is like it's so cool that he like that Gore Verbinski was like, I'm gonna open like my big, like eccentric, wild, like sci-fi action comedy with just a 10-minute monologue. And I like and I know I can pull it off because Sam Rockwell is just a fearless actor
mm,
and he's just like jumping from table to table and it rocks.
yeah, and
It
I
rocks
won't
well.
I won't spoil the third act, but I feel like every Gore Verbinski has like a every Gore movie has like a very like mind blowing third act. Like I just
It's
watched Cure
really
for
true.
Wellness for the first time like last week, and that third
Wild
act
third
blew me
act.
away. But I think
Wild
the
third
third act
act.
in this movie too, I think is like
Mm,
pretty mind blowing. I was not expecting it.
right.
Actually,
So good.
the uh, the old couple who was sitting behind me in my showing, she literally said like the thing like a second before it was like fully revealed, which I thought was
Mm,
very funny. But yeah, like the movie as a whole was like very it was very Gore. It was very
mhm,
Gore Verbinski coded. Um, like you look at that movie and you can very instantly see like it has the same humor that all those movies have,
mhm,
has like all the same kind of like tropes that he like has in his movies
mhm,
and things you would only see in a Gore Verbinski movie. I won't spoil it, but there's a
mhm.
very
I
specific
I think I know what
scene,
you're talking about.
yeah, with a very specific creature that you wouldn't see in any other movie but a Gore Verbinski movie.
That's so
Um,
true. So true.
but yeah, it was a fantastic movie, and if you have not seen it, please go see it. It is a
Go
fantastic
support it.
film, and
Go
yeah,
support
please
it.
go support human movie. No AI used in the making of the movie, but it is very anti AI.
Prominently featured.
Yeah,
It's prominently featured though in a negative
yeah,
connotation.
but yeah, fantastic movie. Please go
Yes,
see
go
it. Please
support
go support Gore Verbinski.
human artists. Yeah.
Yeah,
Before we end, I have to ask you just a super quick question
yeah.
because I really want to know your thoughts. Dream director for Pirate 6 other than Gore Verbinski because he's talked about how he isn't gonna that he doesn't really he feels like he doesn't really have much to offer
Mm.
Pirates of the Caribbean anymore. What's your dream director? Who's your dream director for Pirate 6?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have a specific person in mind. I feel like whoever is chosen, I think they will do a good job. I mean, I hope they will do a good job. Um,
Fingers crossed.
yeah, but I mean,
The names that were mentioned in the leak or whatever, Joseph
oh
Kaczynski,
yeah. Joseph Kaczynski. I completely forgot about that,
uh-huh,
but yeah. Joseph
uh-huh.
Kaczynski would be
Those were
really
all
cool.
the ones that seemed to be on the short list from the leak. Those were all like good choices, I think. That I think, or at least directors who I think would make an interesting Pirates of the Caribbean movie that I
Mm.
would want to go see.
Yeah, I think he would be great. I forget who else they mentioned on that
The
list, but
Abel and Falah, the new Bad Boys guys, they
mm,
also directed the canceled Batgirl movie.
mm.
Um, that was them, and David Leitch,
Oh
director
yeah.
of Bullet Train, The Fall Guy. I'm interested. I was just interested to know your
Yeah,
thoughts.
but what is what's yours? I mean, you said it before, but
My dream director, I think, is J.A. Bayona. He came from. I think he shares a lot of similarities with Gore Verbinski.
mm,
I think in some ways, I think he feels like the Spanish Gore Verbinski. He got his start in like doing like small like Mexican horror movies, and eventually like found his way um, to making bigger stuff, and he understands atmosphere and adventure and peril in ways that I think a lot of modern blockbuster directors usually do not. He directed a Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which isn't like the best written movie, though I think
Hmm.
it's very well directed. And I think like a lot of like the sensibilities that he showcased in that movie, I think could be translated very well to Pirates of the Caribbean, like the second half basically turning into like a haunted house movie with a dinosaur. Like that's just a really interesting and fun idea.
Hmm.
um and I think he would be like, I think he's a really talented director. He also directed the first two episodes of the Rings of Power show,
Oh.
which I think are pretty easily my favorite episodes of that show so far,
Okay.
from what I've seen. Um, though anyway, I think he would be a really unique choice that could carry on like the same like spirit that Verbinski gave to it while still like bringing a unique like flavor. So he's probably my pick, though I when Abel and Falah were mentioned as being on the short list, I like could like immediately see them making like a really sick Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I would be really interested to see what they would do with a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Not to make this run too long.
No, you're good. Well, let's hope Pirates of the Caribbean 6 ends up coming out. Who knows? Maybe this is the year at D23 we'll get the announcement, hopefully. But we'll see what
Fingers
happens.
crossed. We'll see.
But
I
yeah,
think it's definitely going to happen at some point. I think
yeah.
it's bound to get made at some point. It just depends on like how and
Hmm.
when.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk. I
Thank you for
guess we'll
having me.
we'll end. Where can people find you if you want to, promote yourself real quick?
You can find me on Twitter. My name is Film Loving Lucy. That's my main. Though, if you want to, like, if you want more, like, from my like Pirates of the Caribbean side, I also have a Pirates of the Caribbean alt on Twitter where I just post about Pirates of the Caribbean stuff sometimes. And that is at touch underscore of destiny. Um, I also have a YouTube channel, which is at Film Obsessed Lucy, and I have a letterboxed, um, which is at Film Loving Lucy as well, same as my Twitter. Um, yeah, that's that's me.
All right. Well, thank you again so much for talking. It was a blast. This is very, very
This
fun.
was so fun. Thank you.
So,
I love talking about these movies so much. It's always great to meet a fellow fan and to just gush about this thing that
yeah.
we both love so much, and we're both so like dorky and nerdy about.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you
For having
again.
me.
See you later.
Bye. Take care.
And that is the end of my conversation with my friend Lucy Peterson. Definitely go give her a follow on social media. I'll have her account linked in the episode description. But I hope you all enjoyed our conversation, as it was super fun recording it, and hopefully it was just as fun listening to it. Thanks for listening to this episode, and thank you if you've left a rating or review on the podcast wherever you listen. I'm so grateful to all of you who listen to these episodes and get so much enjoyment out of them. It feels so great to know there's so many Pirates of the Caribbean fans out there who love the movies, who love the franchise as much as I do, as much as Lucy does. So thank you so much for listening and being here. It really means a lot to me. But I will see you all next time. Take care. Podcast of the Caribbean is in no way affiliated with Disney. If you want to send me an email or a question, you can send it over to podcastofthecaribbean@gmail.com. You can also follow this podcast on Instagram and Threads at Podcast of the Caribbean, and over on Twitter/X and Bluesky at PodcastPOTC. I post fun content and trivia over there, so make sure to check those platforms out. And you can also buy merchandise for the podcast over on TeePublic and Dashery. Be sure to keep a weather eye on the horizon, and always remember, dead men tell no tales.